Hello everybody, Belmont here once again. This time we're going to talk about something a little bit different. Instead of talking about a particular video game, this is a note to Sony. Sony, most gamers my age severely underestimated you when you first came out. But please understand, you came from the same origins as Philips, which Philips gave us the CDI. So we thought the PlayStation was going to be nothing less than a CDI. You both were working for Nintendo on a CD-based add-on. Except you took the ball and you ran with it and you made a great system. A phenomenal system. Something that changed the world of gaming forever. And now you're a major player in this world. So, as a major player of this world, I have to ask you, on your PlayStation 4, to be exact, why did you limit the hard drive space to 500 gigs? My all-in-one desktop computer, which is by no means a beast, no means an advanced equipment, it's just something basic. This basic all-in-one computer has 4 times the memory than your PS4. So, why? Microsoft didn't do that with their Xbox One. They offered a 1 terabyte one. You could have at least done that. For everybody that has a PlayStation 4 and bought one when it first came out, much as I did, and is a member of PlayStation Plus like I am, you'd realize something by now, because this has happened to you in the past, that your memory is full. And so that forces you to puts you in an awkward position of having to delete games. Games that you may want to play later on. That means every time you want to play a game or you get a new one, you have to delete some stuff that you don't play anymore or that you're not exactly interested in at that time. It shouldn't be like that. Now granted, there's an online cloud that allows you, that saves some data for you, that enables you to re-download it later when you want, but then that leads to another problem. You have to delete something else. You force us to void our warranties on our PlayStation 4s. Yes, you force us to do it so that we can install a separate hard drive. I have a 2 terabyte hard drive in my PS4 right now. Now granted, there's ones that could have a lot more, such as the 4 one. But I've heard that those come with some problems, as well as even the 2 terabyte ones could possibly start problems with your PS4. Why do you do this? Why not just have... Oh wait, here's a brilliant idea. When someone buys a game, let's see, what can we do to fix that? What can we do to expand the memory without actually adding on a different hard drive? Let's think about this for a minute, people. Oh wait, yeah, remember your PlayStation 1 and your PlayStation 2 where you had these things called memory cards that would save the game data? Well, this can be used to save the application data as well in video games, such as the recently new for free NBA 2000 or 2K17, whatever. I'm not into sports games, so sorry if I got the title wrong. But that application data was 45 gigs, at least for me. 45 gigabytes for application data? If you enabled certain plugins where you could plug it in, where you could just plug it into into a new slot and keep that application data, you don't have to download the game. You cannot download the game onto the card. That would be fine, because that would still save up a ton of memory. So there's one way to expand it. You ever heard of the old expression, sometimes you gotta go back in order to move forward? Maybe that's something you should consider. Oh wait, here's another idea. How about offer more than just 500 gigs? If you look at today's computers, one with a 500 gig, you find those on the bottom barrel basic shelf. The discount bargain. That's where you find those 500 gig PCs. The only thing that separates consoles from PC gamers are exclusive titles. That's the only thing that can separate it. So in a field where you have to claw and scratch to compete with the PC, And the only way you can actually do it is by having your own independent licenses that other people want to play. Why not at least have your memory bank? Why not have that be on par with the PC? Be on par with them on everything else. Try to succeed them. Now granted, trying to succeed them would probably make sure that your PlayStation, whatever you want to call it, is probably going to cost $15,000. But if it's good enough, people might think it's worth it. Most people won't, but some people would. Especially now that you're competing with a combination of PC and Microsoft. Now that Project Scorpio has been confirmed, this could be a huge problem, because this means that you could play your Microsoft, well, you were always able to play your Xbox games on your PC. That means you're competing against some pretty hefty competition. And then there's Nintendo. How do you think Nintendo was able to be a contender? I mean, with its very strict PC limitations, trying to be politically correct, mind you, not computer, but PC politically correct, that should pretty much be a nail in the coffin. People want mature storylines in games, not necessarily boobage or not necessarily sex mini games or ultra violence, but at least a mature storyline. I mean, nobody that has their life in danger is going to say, what the heck? But you know how Nintendo was able to compete was through their exclusive licenses. I mean, a good example, Smash Brothers. Another good example, Mario Kart. It's kind of hard for me to say this because you are my favorite console out of the three. But you really need to step it up with the Neo. With your future consoles, you better step it up. You're gonna have to. And granted, while I'm excited for the Neo and as well as your virtual reality thing that you're going to be coming out, it still feels kind of funny because you're still, at the end of the day, it still looks like you're pointing an ice cream cone at the TV screen with your PlayStation Move. But it's still 1,000 times better than Kinect. Believe me. If you haven't played Kinect ever, then you know what, you're better off. You're better off not doing it. Don't even waste your money on that obsolete, horrible, malfunctioning piece of garbage. But Sony, if you want to step up your game, now is the time. Your future consoles need you to be on point with what people want. Limiting hard drive space and then forcing us to void our warranties is not acceptable. Now granted, a lot of people may be asking, well, can't you just plug in, a separate hard drive into a USB port? Well, that presents a huge problem. When you download games onto that particular hard drive, what's stopping you from unplugging that hard drive and plugging it into your friend's? Next thing you know, your friend's got a copy of the game. So there's a big no-no right there. But how about with that plug-in, application data, such as with memory cards? And every time you buy a game, or every time I buy a game, I don't know if anybody else has this problem, I'm sure they do. Once you put it in, it pretty much downloads the game into the PlayStation. Why? Don't do that. No, just read only. Only read, do not save. That'll save up a ton of memory too. Well, that was just a quick note to PlayStation or I should say to Sony for the PlayStation. So until next time, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.